Cups.
All right, thank you. So I've been in the Rockford area all my life. Ran with my family, Thomason Machine Works, till for about 20 years. Had a dad and a brother, and me and the brother never got along. Second to third generation business, not an easy thing. I went off on my own. So 425 Manufacturing is a little less than 4 years old, would be 4 years in June. Like I say, I have a lot of manufacturing background. I've ran machines, mills, lathes, everything like that. When I decided to leave, I didn't really know what I was doing. So along with my wife and son, I think my son was still in high school, so he wasn't really a big thing. But my wife, we kind of looked around. I put a resume together, started handing out resumes, or kind of got to the point where, okay, can I get a job and make money, and I don't need to repossess a house and the kids and the cars. And I kind of figured out that I could actually make the money I was making, and we'd be all right. So then we decided to look at starting 425 Manufacturing. So I kind of started out with myself and another guy, and then my wife, Michelle, said, do I come with you? And I asked her, do you want a paycheck? And we decided that the best thing would be for her not to come to 425 at that point in time, and to go earn a paycheck in case I completely fell on my face. So good to say now, less than 4 years later, we have 19 employees working for us. We offer benefits, paid insurance, retirement, dental. So we're a pretty decent employer for the Rockford area. Start out here. All right, so this is our facility at 5427th Avenue. We started out with renting 5,000 square foot for about a year and a half, and then along with Ed McGee and Stillman Bank and the RLDC, we actually ended up getting an SBA loan, and we bought a 16,300 square foot facility in East Rock, and East Rock has been phenomenal. There's a lot of business, a lot of people there. Some of our customers right now, we actually do, our bread and butter is mining and drill rig all over the United States, all over the world, but we've also made a commitment to try to be 50% of local manufacturing, because mining and drill rig is bread and butter, but local manufacturing is something that we also want to be involved in. So Greenlee Textron, Fairbanks Morse, Motion Industries, a lot of local Rockford companies. Sales growth, just a quickie. Our first year we were $286,000, I think, and last year we turned in $2.25 million in sales. Again, Stillman Bank and RLDC. We actually got an SBA loan before we were 2 years old. I've kind of done this all my life, but I was, with the company, family business that had been around 40 years. So out on my own, it was pretty impressive for us to get an SBA loan at under 2 years old. But again, the people in Rockford, and Rockford is just a great community for manufacturing. They push manufacturing and they stand up for our manufacturers. That's why I'm here, to help other entrepreneurs to kind of see, what you can do with a vision and a dream, and people to help. Profit centers at 425 Manufacturing. We have three kind of profit centers. We have 425, which are CNC milling, parts, CMM, 3D printing, and then we have 425 drill parts, which is kind of our bread and butter. And then we actually, my son has kind of spun off our fab division. Now, I don't think that having 3 different websites is good for everybody, but literally with 19 people and the growth that we've sustained, I'm kind of more of a marketing guy that gets to run a machine shop. So I really enjoy the marketing, and marketing really works, branding really works. So going with the 425 Manufacturing, let my son Tyler, he's 21, take over the fab division, and he started with us 3 years ago, and I didn't even have a job for him. Now he's got 3 people working under him just in the fab department. FDA, we do a lot of food stuff. This is our drill rig. We have about $750 million in mining and drill rig inventory on the shelf. We've realized how important it is to have stuff on the shelf for our mining and drill rig customers. Without inventory, parts are worth nothing. You can have a $5,000 part and you can sell it for half price, And if you don't have it on the shelf, when they need it, they're going to call the OEM and gladly hand over $5,000 instead of $2,500 to us. One of our trade shows in Minneapolis, ISO 9000. We're actually working on our ISO 9000. We're having our pre-audit this Friday, and I think July 1st is probably an easy date, but I threw it up there just so we had something, and we at least hit that for sure. ISO should do a lot of stuff for our local manufacturing. I mean, we're 19 people, and we're growing. We had 39% growth last year, 39% growth the year before, and we're growing at about 30% now. And we're not sitting down and having a meeting and saying, oh, how fast can we grow? What can we do? It's just happening. I mean, it's just the marketing and the management. And I'll get to a couple management theories in the end. Not micromanaging. I mean, I want my people to help run the place. I want to be able to vacation with my wife. I want people to make decisions. They may not be my decision, but a decision's a decision, and they're going to make them when I'm gone, and we're going to figure it out. And that's how we're going to grow, and that's how we've gotten to this point in less than 4 years. This is our front page of our fab website. We do a lot of aviation type stuff. This was a reverse osmosis cart. When they wash these $2 to $5 million jets, if they get water spots, the people flying in them get really upset when their $5 million jet has water spots. So we built a reverse osmosis cart just to rinse it. Can't really rinse a jet with salt water, so it has to be RO water. So that's a fab. These engine stands here, the blue stands on the bottom of the engine, that's a 500,000 pound engine for a nuclear destroyer for Fairbanks Morse. We actually built the transport stands. So that was a pretty good feat, and that really helped get our fab division going. That's some pictures. We have a full paint booth. That's some pictures on the engine stands. We actually had to put tie bars in to keep them from warping, send them to stress relieve, and then after that we cut the tie bars off and machined them and painted them. This is Tyler's desk, just something really cool and over the top. Wanted to make something ourselves, so just kind of showcasing some of the stuff we can do for fab. One of our welder carts, of course, I mean, any welder cart has to have chrome go-kart tires and diamond plate. I mean, because what would a welder cart be without chrome tires and diamond plate? This is an engine lift, so we designed this from scratch. This is basically an engine lift on steroids. We're on our third one right now. This will lift a jet engine 14 foot, 2,000 pound engine, 14 foot tall, and it's basically for putting on $1 million jet engines. That's another picture of it being used. Paint booth, you know, we can do stuff that's refurbishing one of our forklifts. Nothing fancy. These are actually the welding carts, the welding lab for Stillman Valley High School. So through a grant through CNC, and like I say, we work really close with Rockford people because Rockford people work with us. So we got a grant through CNC. Did it, I mean, basically for cost, but still cost on a full welding lab is not cheap at all. And I don't have any other pictures of the welding lab, or maybe I do. That turned out real cool. These are some jet stands holding the fuselage. This is an F4 Phantom that they brought into Lena, Illinois. We may be part of the project. They talked to us about putting it on a pole also. I'll show you in a minute. We're putting a jet on a pole in front of S Aviation. This is augmented reality. So this is taking virtual reality, and then you can actually augment and see that. So that jet's really not there except for through the computer screen. And then here's a little video just walking around, and you can actually see the jet, see the underside. So we're working on getting, for our fab division, we're working on getting like a VR goggle so we can actually scan a machine in, build an enclosure around the machine, and walk around the machine with the VR goggles and see the enclosure. So as for fab stuff, to have other people building a $5,000 enclosure and saying, here's a piece of paper, not only do we have the 3D model of it, but we also can, you know, to be able to put in VR headset, say, hey, if you want to walk around your machine and see the enclosure, just go ahead and walk around, and this is what it's going to look like. Stuff like that pretty much if you're close to the same bid, you get the job. And we've already, we got a big cart job for TJ Maxx and Home Goods, and we're building 165 carts going to Texas. They were the customers in New Jersey. They had to have found us on the internet somehow. But we turned the quote around in 2 days. The other people were 5 days. We literally drew the cart in 3D, and we actually sent them a 3D PDF. And a lot of people don't even know that Adobe has a 3D PDF, but you can actually zoom in, zoom out, spin the cart around, and that basically, landed a $90,000 fab job. They're like, yeah, 4 other people turned in a hand sketch of what the cart would look like. You guys gave us a 3D PDF, and my customer's like, yeah, we'll take that one. Reverse engineering, me and Tyler went down to Greenville, South Carolina, and did an engineering job for an engine sling for the Gulfstream G550. So this is actually Tyler working on the sling, and that's actually how they pick up the engine with a big lift like that. Community involvement. We do a lot of community involvement. As long as we're profitable, we're going to do what we can because the community is what's gotten us to this point. So Rockford's treated us well. We're going to treat Rockford well as much as we can. We've done Manufacturing Day, I think 2016, 2017, 2018. Okay, here's some pictures of the weld carts for Stillman and Cianci. We basically went out to Stillman and talked about what they wanted, and they wanted a lab, and we designed it with them based on what other people are doing in the industry and what they wanted. So there's the finished part of literally like 10 of them set up with interchangeable grates and just basically built to last forever. Just delivered them. That's in the paint booth. Kick In for Cancer. We've done Kick In for Cancer 2016, 2017. We actually have a product that we do pretty well on for breakout table jaws for the mining industry. And I think we gave $1,000 to SMSF in 16 and like $1,500 in 2017. We're actually doing a dog food promo right now starting May 1st where everybody that buys these gripper jaws will donate a 5-pound bag of dog food and cat food, and then they'll get a leash that says 425 manufacturing. And we're literally planning on probably at least 200 or 100 bags of dog food and 100 bags of cat food for sure because we have the skid coming in Tuesday and probably even more. There's Sherry Bustos at our facility. Like I said, we just stay busy with the blood drive. We've had a blood drive every year. We have a blood drive coming up in June this year. So this will be our 4th year in business and our 4th blood drive. And literally for a shop our size to come up with 6 new donors and 17 donors total, it's a lot of work on our side through Facebook and networking. And I see some of our vendors from United Skilled and M&W Grinding and working over their people. So our vendors and our steel vendors and saying, hey, I know you guys have people there that give blood. Why don't you have them come out? We're going to have sandwiches and stuff. They need to give blood here. So we've done a pretty good job promoting that. 3D printing, I have a hand. We're actually certified by the Enable community to 3D print the Cyborg Beast. We 3D print on basically a daily basis, and it's number 1 to kind of get us good in the industry, and number 2 to be able to do stuff like this. And again, as long as we're profitable, we're going to keep doing that. So we're signed up, and we'll start making probably a couple a year for the Enable community. This was our 2018 toy drive. I know we had over 100 toys. And we also did that, I think, with breakout table jaws. And then some other, we actually started out with a promotion for us. And then when we started putting on Facebook, we had all of our vendors and customers saying, well, we want to give, we want to give, we want to give. Like, I don't want to go shopping, but I'll give you $100. So, I mean, it kind of snowballed into something that we didn't realize it was going to be. Getting close to the end. Stillman Valley Fire Department, this was a donation we did a couple years ago, flashlight holders that go on their helmet. My son Tyler's a fireman on Stillman, so we actually did it for Stillman, and then the next year we did them for Genoa, Kingston. Employee fund involvement. We do a lot of food. I mean, for the solar eclipse, we bought glasses, and everybody got to go out and look at the solar eclipse without burning their eyeballs. We do stuff at the Ice Hogs. We have season tickets at the Ice Hogs. This is our Hawker 700 project. We're actually putting the Hawker 700 on the top right on poles in 2 weeks in Janesville in front of one of their new facilities. We did all the engineering. We built the wing mounts, and we actually had the jet in our. We had an old jet, a scrap jet, in our facility to use to go ahead and do all the engineering on the wings. And then when you have a 50-foot fuselage in your facility and you're done with it and the customer says, you know, it's yours, do what you want, then you kind of start thinking, what could we possibly do with a 50-foot jet when we're done with it? So like anybody, we're like, well, Rockford Raft Race. So we built wing docks, and then we're like, well, how do we power a 50-foot jet? And then like anybody in Rockford said, well, line bikes. So we rented line bikes, reverse engineered around line bikes so we didn't harm the line bikes, and built stuff, and we won Judge's Choice. We weren't very fast. It was a lot of work pedaling, even with 2 people on each side. It's really hard to pedal a 50-foot jet, but it turned out really cool. We had a manufacturing engineer for the summer, and instead of engineering, you know, parts and this and that, I'm like, here's a YouTube video on how to build a dock, and I want wing docks, and I want them to float really good. So, by the way, a 55-gallon drum floats 545 pounds. So we wanted to make sure, and not only did we have the wing docks sitting beside the plane, but we literally had them through the plane. So we built them so they were actually holding the plane up. You know, little do I know, when we backed it into the water, the thing floated like a pop bottle. So, but it was like, you know, everybody's like, that's going to sink, it's going to sink, it's going to sink. And like, I don't think it's going to sink, but by gosh, it might. But still, Judge's Choice. My wife said no more raft race ever again. She said we flushed more money down the toilet than she's ever seen in a 1 month period. I mean, we blew at least $5,000 on that, but it was fun. All right. Okay, yeah, well, I get a little eccentric. So I'm like, everybody's involved. So we had mass M&W Grinding, Trucks in Motion, Speedy Metals, Custom Apparel. We had all these people involved in the project. So, I mean, we had to buy $1,000 worth of shirts. So we literally had 120 flight crew shirts. So if you were at the raft race and you've seen people in yellow shirts all over everywhere, that was our 120 flight crew shirts. So that was part of the $5,000. But you know, everybody wears these shirts now, and it's like, oh, it was such a blast. There's another picture. B103, 95.3, Steve Summers and Judy Diamond and the other guys. And again, I love marketing. I love promotion. And you know, when you call up the radio station, you're like, you know, we have a 50-foot jet that we're probably going to run down the river. Yeah, they come right over. Okay, domain names, quickie. Branding, 425 Manufacturing, 425fab.com, 425mfg.com, 425drillrigparts.com, fun for me. Logos for Fab Division and our drill rig. Now we're kind of working on the Fab Division. My son kind of came up with a 4FD, but like Chevy, what's 4FD? Nobody knows what 4FD is. So we're working on branding the 425 Fab Division and the 4FD, so we have some t-shirts coming out. But again, in 5 years in Rockford, you see 4FD, and you'll be like, oh, that's the 425 people. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, why? There we go. Hang on. Boom. 2-minute tool school. My wife hates 2-minute tool school. We sell drill rig parts. My management, Allie, and my wife, and we sell drill rig parts. So I found out with my wife that really 2 minutes is all I ever have. I probably only have 60 seconds. Yeah, 2 minutes is too long. So I have a 2-minute tool school. So I have a customer calling, we need this, and we need that, and this is why we need it, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be like, all right, 2-minute tool school. This is shipping out today. This is how it works. This is why it works, blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of a quick 2-minute tool school to do. And boy, we're just really getting killed. Okay, it died. Anybody fix it? It's on the screen here. I swear I'm like a couple minutes out. 5 more slides. I don't know if we lost the AirPlay connection, maybe. Boom. All right. Okay. All right. Quick management theories. No micromanaging. Say no to tribal knowledge. For my family business, we had a lot of tribal knowledge. Everything was tribal knowledge. This is how the print is. This is why we heat treat it like this. We are heavy in prints at 425 Manufacturing. Everything we do, we're documenting the routers and the prints and the processes because tribal knowledge is bad. I mean, when those people are gone, they're gone. So we're working on setting this and getting rid of that. Micromanaging, like I said, I try to let my people do everything they can do. Give your employees a win. There's lots of things that I feel strongly. I'm a very opinionated person, and I feel strongly about everything I do. And you know, when I'm arguing with an employee over something, you have to give your employees a win. So sometimes, I mean, even though my idea is better, I have to go with their idea. And it's like, all right, yep, nope, your idea is better. Let's do your idea. Let's do it. So it's hard for me, and you know, how do you learn and get better, and how do you let your people advance if you don't give your employees a win? Same thing, I give my wife a win a lot. So it's either give your employees a win or pick your battles. Maybe pick your battles is the same thing. Okay, and that's it. So appreciate it. Thanks for.
All right, let's give Mike a hand.